Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you haven't had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at justsayingNoGWJS for article and video updates. We've got a great episode today. The winner of the Just Saying's ESPN Draft Day Challenge won. Garrett Meyer, man, our friend of the show, friend of us personally. He won. He co-won it. Sorry, he didn't win it outright. He co-won it this year, but he did win it last year.
Well, without further ado, we're just going to bring him right in to talk anything football today. Garrett, here he is.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Garrett.
Congrats on winning. Good job. Co-winning. Congrats on co-winning.
But a repeat nonetheless.
It is a repeat. I'll take every one I can get. Thank you for having me. Big fan of the show. Happy to be here.
No, love having you, man. So let's just jump right into it. You're a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. That's what we've heard. That's what we know. How'd you like the draft? You guys got Najee Harris in the first round at 24. You guys didn't go offensive line until the third. And we just saw today, Andrew Villanueva just signed to Baltimore. A lot going on. How you feeling about everything?
A lot of mixed feelings. So start off with Najee Harris. Love that pick. I was telling Jack on draft night, I'm like, this is the only guy I want. It's perfect. It's ideal. James Conner, he did great for us when we lost Le'Veon Bell, so I will applaud him for that work. But the last two seasons with injuries, with his ankle and everything like that, it was a real decline. And then at the start of the season last year, we had a little bit of a run game. We mixed between a few running backs, and then that just all fell apart along with the rest of our season. Rest in peace to our season. That was pretty bad. But getting Najee Harris was perfect. I don't know. My brother's a Penn Stater, so he told me that we got a great tight end. I trust his word on it, but I thought with Eric Ebron, I think we were fine there. We did just sign him last year, and he did pretty fine towards the end of the season. I was very satisfied with it. But addressing the O-line in the third round and the fourth round was not my cup of tea. I would have liked in the second round. Even the Jets moved up to 5-6 picks just to get the guard out of USC. So it's everyone was making moves for offensive linemen, but we weren't. We were just sticking to the basics, and then we just bolstered our defense the remaining of the draft. So I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at that way, it's kind of funny when you want that offensive line. This is a great class to go get them, but they did fill a lot of needs here. Running back, they got the offensive lineman in the end. They were able to, get the tight end spot. So how do you think this offense is going to fare next year, with all of this? When you look over at this division getting stronger, you have the Browns and the Ravens, the Bengals, aren't just there yet, but they're bolstering up. How do you feel going into 2021 about this offense?
I have a lot of hope for them. Like I said before, my biggest fear is the offensive line, but we have the weapons, we have the coaching, we have the tools, we have everything it takes, but we just have to actually show up. We showed up the first 11 games of the season. We were totally fine. Yes, the schedule was
easiest.
A little lenient, yeah.
We were playing the B squad, so I will say that. But now we have the hardest schedule, so it's gonna be a battle. The odds are definitely not in our favor. But Mike Tomlin has never had a season under 500 while coaching the Steelers, so I think that we'll be in good hands with him right there.
Speaking of your offense, man, I mean, we got to address the elephant in the room that's known as Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Guys didn't get a quarterback this year. We saw a few teams, even my Vikings, get a quarterback in the third round. Colts dipped and got another quarterback in the sixth with Sam Ehlinger. Were you a little upset that you guys didn't go quarterback this year, and now you got to wait another year? You guys re-signed Mason Rudolph, who I'm sure the Pittsburgh fan base is not saying that's the next guy of our future. So how are you feeling about this?
First of all, Mason Rudolph will only be known as the guy that got his helmet ripped off his face and then beaten. Only thing he'll be known for. He's a relevant. What I do like is how we took Dwayne Haskins. Now, a lot of people probably don't think that's a great pick, but if you look at it, he was in Washington with an underdeveloped team, and you know what? They threw him right in there. So if you throw him with Mike Tomlin, you throw him behind Big Ben, because he's a big dude as well, and he has those weapons. Give him a year or two, and he can potentially be our quarterback. And actually, I saw JT Barrett on a roster last year, and I thought maybe JT Barrett could do something. But if it doesn't work out with Dwayne Haskins, we're gonna have to look to the draft. But Big Ben he's gonna be here for this year. hell, he could be here next year and the year after that. Nobody really knows. You know, it went from retiring young to I'm going to play till I'm like banged up. So like at this point, I'm rocking with Big Ben. I've never been mad with him. He's always delivered, like 2 rings, 3 trips. So like he's done everything I've asked for. And, you know, the last couple of years have been hard, but he's an older dude. He's been banged up. So like he's doing what he can and he's still performing.
No, absolutely. He's definitely doing well. Just I thought he was honestly, I thought he was going to retire this year. I won't lie. I think
I did too. I was ready for that announcement and I was like ready. I had like my Instagram post ready, dedicated to him. Like I was ready to go. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to sign the next. I'm going to rebuild and come back." I was like, "He's going to do it. He's going to do
classy. It's classy that way. Gotta love him.
10-yard passes with a 50-yard bomb every now and then. Like I could stick with it."
Yeah, I mean, I love watching Big Ben do that. I think Dwayne Haskins has the same kind of body type, like you said. You know, the big thing, he just really needs to get that development, and Tomlin and Big Ben could be great for that. You know, he's also got a cannon arm. You know, that's good for them in the future. You were talking about their weapons, though. I just want to talk about Juju Smith-Schuster real quick. You guys have him now for 1 more year. You know, he's had great seasons there. He's struggled. What are your outlook? You know, what's your outlook as a Steelers fan on him? You know, in the next few years.
Well, honestly, I thought he was going to go to Arizona or the Giants in the offseason. I was really considering that. I thought Arizona would be the best fit for him. But coming back to Pittsburgh on that 1-year deal, you know, the Ravens did offer him. So, like, I'm very satisfied with him coming back. We need that. He's probably the most experienced wide receiver on our team, which is crazy to think because he's our age. So, like, having that role is huge, and he has produced. He's had that one bad season, but even that bad season, it was like, what, like 800, 900 receiving yards, like 3 touchdowns. And in that season, Big Ben went out week 2, and he's playing between Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges.
Yeah.
This isn't even on a team anymore. So, like he's still able to somewhat produce with weak talent under center. So, like, it's going to be good to have him for this year. Hopefully, if we save the cap moving forward, we can extend him. But, you know, everything aside, he's been a true asset to the team, whether I like it or not, and we do need him. We need experience.
Absolutely agree. When you guys re-signed him on like a 1-year, $7 million deal, I was shocked. I also thought he was going to walk away, sign a bigger deal. And you guys definitely needed him. I mean, without him, and Johnson's great, Claypool's solid, but they're not, I think, ready to be that wide receiver 1. And Juju definitely gives that blanket for Ben. And hopefully with Harris, it adds a little bit more. So with all that in mind, we got a 17-game season now. We're opening it up. We got more games for the regular season. It's going to be awesome. Can you give us a win prediction for the Steelers?
I say at the worst we will have is 9 wins. I think best we'll have 11.
Interesting. I like that.
That's a good Steelers range. They finished in there, you know, many times before. It's doable. You know, people are coming back now. I'm really liking it. Let's take it over to the defensive side of the ball, though. You guys have been a top defense over the last couple of years. What's the outlook on that for you guys? You know, Devin Bush will probably be healthy. And, you know, you weren't really able to address defense as much as you wanted in the draft, but how are you feeling about them?
You know, the defense always shows up, whether you expect them to or not. Like, the numbers that they put up were amazing. And I think TJ Watt honestly should have won Defensive Player of the Year.
I agree. I agree.
You can't deny Aaron Donald's talent, but you know what? I don't have the vote. So but, I think that defense is going to take it's going to take a couple of games to adjust. You know, when it's like you lose a couple of key players like Bud Dupree, like him going to Tennessee. Have fun. We tagged him. We should have extended him. That's on us. But I think we need the depth at linebacker, because once Devin Bush went down, our defense kind of fell apart for like a game or two.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3rd, 4th stringers filling in the holes, and
you
know, they'd make a play here and there, but there wasn't anything serious. And then honestly, I just think we won't put up the same numbers, but we'll still be. I think we'll be a top 7 defense, top 5 pushing it. To be honest, we have a lot to learn. We have some key parts, but you know, we're missing a few key people.
I mean, your defense seems to be good this year. Bengals loaded up on offense, getting Jamar Chase in the draft for Burrow. Ravens got their wide receiver 1. That should really help out Lamar Jackson, especially in that pass game. I do believe Bateman and and Brown are going to be a good 1-2 combo for them. That defense needs your defense does need to bring it this year. You guys are in a really, really tough division. Like three teams in your division made the playoffs last year. Expectations is for all three of these teams to return again. And now you have the Bengals, which I think are up and coming, signing Trey Hendrickson, getting Jamar Chase.
Definitely.
You know, it's going to be really, really tough for you guys just to, you know, get out of that division, I think. So you're right. Devin Bush being healthy is going to be key. And Avery Williamson, who you guys, you know, traded for, I think, midway through the season, did not pan out the way that you guys were hoping to. He didn't do great in the coverage. He's a great run stopper, but he wasn't great in the pass coverage for you guys. And you guys missed Bush sorely.
Yeah, and with Bush, you know, Sean just mentioned those receiving weapons that they added. You know, I was also thinking about it too with the linebackers that you mentioned, Garrett. You know, you have Chubb and Hunt on one team, and you have Jackson and Dobbins. There's two teams you got to play twice a year with two rushing weapons. You know, and you need those linebackers like Devin Bush who can play spy, who can, you know, just play man right on the running back all game. I think it is going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, but you know they do always surprise. You know, they're able to always get it done. And you know Terrell Edmonds getting picked up on his 5th-year option as well. I mean he's been declined. He's been declined. I apologize. That's another little red flag for this defense that, you know, they got Joe Hayden back, but he's a little bit in his older years now. I feel like they're going to have to address this during the season as they have with many corners. You know, just try to go and get someone before they lose Terrell, you know, and they just always try to keep the depth there. But it is going to be tough. They are going to be in a tough cap space next year.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why they drafted Trey Norwood.
Yeah.
Possibly be prepared for that. However, just because we declined the 5th-year option doesn't mean we want them. Like, we have a lot of financial problems going on.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. So, you know, I think maybe he would want to do like a restructure. Maybe get something like that, or maybe do a 1-year deal like Juju, take one for the team, and know that, because if you look at the Steelers, they stand out as one of those organizations who are really like, this is what we're going to do. Like, there's no beating between the bush. They tell you how it's going to go. Like, they convinced Big Ben to take, what, $10 million cut? Like, that man could have taken
more, I think, actually.
Yeah, so, like, they convinced him to take down some money. They convinced Juju to come back on a 1-year, $7 million. I think they could do the same thing with Edmonds. Like, they always make it work, and I think they will. It just depends on getting, like, this is our big speed bump this year, is the financial, the roster, the holes. But I think if things go our way this year and we turn it around financially, I think we could set ourselves up for the next 3 to 4 years and start paying those people, because we have to pay TJ Watt, we have to pay Bush, we have to pay Fitzpatrick. Like what?
Like, where are you gonna get this money?
Elon Musk, do you want to invest in us? Like,
take a blueprint from the Rams, man. They always keep finding money to sign players to these massive deals.
Where are they getting this money?
it's that LA money, man.
Yeah, they just put it on the back end for a couple of years and take the cap hit and just hope that they win.
And then trade away all their first-round picks. But before we get out of here, do you have any questions for us? Anything going on in the draft? Anything about our teams? Anything about your team you think that we didn't get to cover that you want our opinion on?
I have one individual question for both of you and then a joint question. The individual question is about your teams.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with Jack. So the Giants have made it clear that Daniel Jones, they're helping him. They got Galladay.
Yep.
They drafted a wide receiver. Like, they're doing everything they can. They're giving him the weapons. Saquon's coming back. That's huge.
Yep.
If he doesn't produce this season, he has one more year under contract before that extension option. If he doesn't show up, will the Giants look for another quarterback? And if they are looking for one, would you prefer an experienced one testing free agency, or would you rather start the year over the process with a rookie quarterback?
I mean, that's a good question, because I'm thinking about it in two parts, where you have to think about like the next 2 years of quarterbacks and like what the team can do. But you're right. He has officially been given everything. After years of me complaining about how my quarterback has not been supported by my team, they have given him everything. You get 2 fresh new receivers. You get Kenny Galladay. He's going to be the number 1 there. You get Tony. He's fantastic. You know, they legitimately have pieces in place with Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, Slayton, who can help all of them transition the new guys. Daniel Jones is also in that point now where, you hope he's a little more healthy this year than he was last year. But to answer the question about the experience or not, if we were to have to part ways with Daniel down the road, I would want an experienced quarterback. I've seen what it's like when you have a good team in place and have to develop a quarterback and that's what I'm worried about in San Francisco right now. I would rather San Francisco traded Jimmy G for a good quarterback, an experienced quarterback, because they have an established offense. For us, if we have Daniel Jones and he comes out next year and balls, he's my guy. I would stick with that because he's proven that what he's been given, he's been able to do the job correctly. But like you said, it's the rookie having a rookie quarterback come into that would be kind of tough for me to side with that. I would like to go for see what they could do. That's two years down the road. I would love to see what kind of quarterbacks are looking to move on from their teams around then and put them with all of these existing weapons. Because I believe that next year with those two first, we're going to look for the defense and just keep building that.
I think experienced quarterback for you guys. If you guys decide to move on for Jones, I like
maybe
that.
Russell Wilson wants to move on in 2 years. Who knows?
Danny
Yeah,
Dan.
Maybe he's waiting.
And for you, Chauncey,
Let's
you
go.
guys drafted Kellen Mond. I saw that and I was like, you know what? He's a solid pick. I think that's a steal where you got him. Do you think he could be this draft's Dak Prescott? As in, if a Tony Romo, Alex Smith situation happens and Kirk Cousins gets hurt, and Mond steps in and he outperforms Kirk Cousins of what he was doing, the Vikings are winning games, and they're not just like barely winning. They're winning. There's like Mond is establishing like I can show up, I can perform. Do you think that the Vikings will start to think of a post Kirk Cousins world because he will be 34 and an unrestricted free agent after the 2022 season?
So just to start right off the bat, the move for Mon was the post Cousins move. I think that's genuinely what I really do believe. I think that they're saying, look, you haven't gotten the job done. And in the words of Robert Griffin III, you've just been cashing checks in Minnesota. And we've only been to the playoffs and not a lot to show for it when we were just in the NFC Championship game 4 years ago, which now feels like a lifetime at this point,
Really
quite honestly. So I think with Mond, they're there and what they're trying to do is ignite that flame in him and say, you got some competition now. We're thinking about after you. We're not just going to sign you or restructure you to a longer deal or extend you to save the cap. If you're not winning it, we're done. We're moving on. And the best part about Mond is he has everything Cousins can't, which is mainly mobility, moving around, creating plays, making something happen with his feet, moving around. Like he does that. Kirk Cousins doesn't. So I think this was us thinking towards the future. I think if Kirk Cousins was to go down and Mond is to step in, I think it's going to be really hard to recreate a season like Dak's. It's hard to say where our defense is at. And, Christian Darrisaw, I love him. I wanted him. We got the left tackle position filled. But you're asking a rookie left tackle to now go and protect the blind side of the quarterback. And you just don't know how that will pan out. The offensive line of the Cowboys at that time was fantastic. It was really easy for pass protection, really easy for the run game. If this does happen, Kirk Cousins goes down. I hope he doesn't. I don't want to see my quarterback get injured for any reason, whether or not I like him or not. I think that Mond can find success when you have guys like Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook, and that there's no real reason why he should have a down year. So if he does get to step in that situation, he'll do well. I don't know if he'll recreate Dak Prescott going deep in the playoffs and losing in Green Bay kind of thing, but I do expect him to do well. And I think that this was, again, we're looking towards beyond 2022. Like you said, 34 unrestricted free agent. We're not going to franchise tag you. We're not going to give you 3 years, $83 million up front. We're not going to extend you to a 2-year 63. We're not doing that again. Our cap will finally be back under our control and we'll have a really young nucleus to work off of.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Mond pick. Sean even said on draft, he was so excited for that. I mean, we wanted to see them draft the successor and make Chauncey happy.
Yeah. Just ready for the post Kirk Cousins era. I just want to win, guys. Just one championship.
He just has to win.
Just once. Like, it would be super nice. My grandfather hasn't seen one. My dad hasn't seen one now. Like, it feels like I may not see one. I'm only 24. Like, it's not great.
Hopefully Kellen Mond sees one.
No.
Anyway.
So my last question for the two of you, and every couple of years I find a non-Steeler team, I think I always invest in. So a couple of years ago with Miami, loved what they were doing with Brian Flores and love where they are now. Kind of had that with the Browns because I used to just laugh at the Browns, and now look at them, I can't laugh because they're gonna kick us, just beat us down. It's not even gonna be fun. We might as well just go like 0-6 in the division. And then so now the Chargers, they wished upon a star and they got Justin Herbert, blessing in disguise. The Chargers finished 7-9 last year. 5 of those losses were within 7 points, less than 7 points. With the free agency moves that they've done, bolstering that offensive line, and in the draft, bolstering that offensive line, and that defense comes back healthy. Oh, Derwin James, right? He was out with an ACL.
Yep.
Do you think that the Chargers, if Justin Herbert shows up, that they could be a dark horse team this year? And if so, how many wins do you think that they will get?
Well, Sean's big on the Chargers. I'll let him answer this one first.
They were my 2020 team to watch, and they ended up getting the offensive rookie of the year. Love the Corey Linsley signing. Love getting Rashawn Slater. They're doubling down on this offense. They want to protect their quarterback. That's a smart move. Dude can definitely ball out. He won offensive rookie of the year over my guy, Justin Jefferson, which is fine. He's a quarterback. I get it. It's hard to throw 35 touchdowns. I respect that. I think that they're easily a dark horse team. I don't think that you can sleep on them offensively or defensively with what they're doing. They got a great quarterback. They got a great defense. They got everything that you possibly need. They got the new stadium. I think that they're ready. I don't see them not being in this, especially with 7 seeds now for the playoffs. I really do see them being not like a dark horse, but a team that's like kind of legit. They got the new head coach. Like they're set. They are set to me. I can easily see them winning 11 games this year. Quite honestly, I think that they are in a tough AFC West, but we don't know how that offensive line of the Chiefs is going to look, even though they have gotten a little bit revamped with Thuney and Orlando Brown. But we don't know if that will still work for the team and mesh well. It could not. That happens frequently in the NFL. Look at the Giants signing Nate Soldier just a few years ago. Top tier left tackle goes to the Giants, has not looked the same since that Patriots time. So that could happen with Brown or Thuney. I'm not saying it will. They're great players, but you never know. And when you got like Bosa and you got this tough defense, and you got James, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard. So yeah, 11 games, lock them in. They're definitely a dark horse team.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Chargers last year. You know, Sean was talking about them so much in the offseason, and as we watched them, you know, have a great season but lose games and not make the playoffs, I was pretty disappointed in them. One big thing for me that I was looking at with the Chargers, you know, again, that they've been able to bring back all the weapons around him and give him more. You know, that was a huge pick with Slater. I was big on him. You know, I love what they were able to do. You know, just you know, they still have Mike Williams. They still got Austin Eckler. They still got Keenan Allen. Those guys can all ball out at different levels. You know, it's not like he's got a lack of weapons. And, you know, they also got Asante Samuel Jr., guy Sean was huge on, a big pick for them, you know, gives them that slot, that corner that they needed, that they lost in Casey Hayward last year to trade. You know, like Sean said, he threw a lot of friggin' touchdowns last year. He was able to do the best with what he had. You know, they were losing because they had those injuries. You know, Derwin James is coming back. They were able to, you know, they don't have Hunter Henry, but they were able to, you know, get, I believe, Jared Cook in there to give him an extra, you know, versatile veteran. And, you know, I love that. I think that he's on the way up. You know, we loved what we saw out of him last year at Oregon. You know, we felt like he was very limited and he wasn't able to use the deep pass. You know, we were able to see him hit some of those Guyton, you know, slot passes to the third wide receiver on their roster and, you know, get over, you know, 50 touchdowns on a couple of things. You know, we're able to see this guy mature. I love it for them. I'm big on them this year. I think that, you know, the Broncos are going to be a big problem. I think that the Raiders are going to cause some trouble, but, you know, they're going to still have to beat the Chiefs at the end of the day. But I think that with Herbert, we saw him take them on last year in prime time. I want to see that again out of him. You know, he's in a great place. They didn't have too many changes. And, you know, Linsley as well, like Sean mentioned, that's a big up for them. I think the Chargers, you know, I would like to see them go 10-7 with the new 17-game schedule. I would love to see that, you know, just them getting 10 wins at least and proving that they can at least make the wild card and make some noise in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And by the way, Linsley was all first team all pro center. Yeah. It's not like they just signed a good center. Yeah. They signed the best center in football last year, which is huge. Again, when you're second year, you know, it's a second year quarterback. So this is big. I'm excited for them. Garrett, thank you for coming on the show. Definitely, thank you so much for co-winning that. You killed it. You defended your throne. I love it. Love the trophy.
Love it.
Beautiful. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for listening. Yeah, have a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. Always check us out, justsayingfootball.com. Check us out on YouTube at Just Saying Football, and always check us out on Instagram for all your video article updates at Just Saying No GWJS. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the
Enjoy.
offseason.